The game is TownStar, which is basically play to earn Farmville, and I'm showing you guys how to get your town started and actually build a script that will auto sell for you. So once you have it built, you just sit back and relax and let the thing do its thing, and you get your daily town rewards by doing nothing. Really, it's massive passive income, as I like to say. In addition, I'm going to actually make this a several part series. So the first part is really just to get everything started, where you can walk away and let it be the way it is now, and then the next parts will actually take it to the next level, and we'll start making some candy canes. With that said, guys, let's jump right into it. Enjoy. Alright, so first off, you want to pick an area that's not too far away to trade. So what I do, one of the first things I do once I've picked my area, and I always like to pick forest. There's also desert if you're trying to do things like silica and salt. There's also mountainous tiles where you can actually go and mine stuff if you're trying to craft blue steel, for example, in endgame. I'm going to be crafting candy canes in endgame, and I like to do that in the forest next to a river for passive water. But what I check first is to see how far my trades are. So you can click on your sell trade depot, and you can see here it would cost me 3 gas to sell something in about 4 minutes 45 seconds. When I put in my actual express depot, that will go down to 1, and there aren't many tiles placed to rivers anymore because I'm kind of late into the game. So it's gonna take me 3 minutes 29 seconds, which is quite a while, but only 1 gas, which is okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the one that came with the map and use my NFT, which is the express depot, which reduces my cost to 1 gas. The next thing I'll do is, once I have a full 40 or 20 wheat in my silo, I'm actually going to sell it all. And then I'm also going to sell off a lot of these pawns to get some initial money to start building what I need to build. So first off, since I'm doing sugar canes, I need well, not sugar canes, but I'm going to be selling candy canes endgame. So I'm going to be focusing on sugar canes and creating sugar, and for that I need to build some sugar crops, which I'll do right here next to the river. I'm going to build a couple of crops. I don't need too many because I also have a couple of NFTs. So there's one there, and then I'm going to build a second one over here on the left. And that will be it for me for now. And I'm going to start building windmills to actually manufacture sugar with. So once the sugar canes are in the silo, I'm actually going to combine them with lumber to make sugar. And in order to get lumber, I do need to build a lumberjack house, which I'll build here next. And those actually appear immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and sell off these pawns, make some money. I'm going to leave one of the pawns over here for my gasoline production later on in the game, which we'll need. Right now we've got 40 gas, so that should be plenty to get us going, at least here to start with. So what I'll do is I'm going to start building my windmills as well as my storehouse, where I'm going to be storing the sugar that my windmills will produce. So now that I've destroyed some of the pawns and made some money, I'm going to go ahead and start building 2 windmills. The first one I'm going to build down here. So we need to place a dirt road first before we can build a windmill. The other one I'm going to build probably up here somewhere. I do have some NFTs that I need to place around it, and I need to have them next to a road. So I'm going to make sure that I place things in a spot where I have room for both. So what I'll do here is go ahead, and I'm actually going to go ahead and place my CraneBot NFT to help build some of these things quicker. And my other windmill will go, let's say, right here. So I'll put it here. So I'm going to build a road here. The windmill will go in behind. And windmills have this thing called shade effect. If they're too close to other buildings, they will actually take longer to produce whatever it is you're producing with them. NFTs don't contribute to this, but other buildings do. So right now they're sort of placed randomly across the map. I am going to be moving them around a bit here in a minute. but I'm gonna build a road behind it just so that I can place 2 more NFTs adjacent to it, because each one of these sugar cane stands will actually passively provide sugarcane to my windmill, so that way I actually don't even need to carry any sugarcane into this windmill, because I'm going to put 3 of these NFTs to it. So each one of these will provide 2 sugarcane to this windmill passively, meaning that I now only need 3 wood in order to start building or producing sugar. So I'm going to let this run now. So now that both windmills are completed, I'm going to not activate them yet, because I will also need a storehouse. And you may have noticed I did sell the wheat that I had, and I'm going to go ahead and sell the remaining wheat, and that is going to at least empty my silo for sugar canes to be stored. So now we need a storehouse. So I'm going to go ahead and build another road right here, if it lets me click this tile. And then I'm gonna put a storehouse there. The reason we need a storehouse is because we actually will need to have, well, I'm gonna put the storehouse further back, because we need to be at least 3 tiles away for this windmill to be able to produce sugar in 30 seconds rather than a minute. If I were to build this storehouse 1 tile over, it would actually increase the timer from 30 seconds to 1 minute, and the closer you get, the longer the timer gets. So we'll go ahead and start building the storehouse there. It's under farm, storehouse. And again, the reason we need that is because once the sugar is created, it will need to be stored somewhere. Otherwise, you'll just see it kind of poof away out of the worker's hands. So we'll make sure we'll have a storehouse there. And then once the storehouse is built, I'll go ahead and activate my windmills, and we'll go ahead and start producing sugar. In addition to that, I'm gonna go ahead and place one of my NFTs, which is a sugarcane storage. Since it's an NFT, it's not going to have an impact on the windmill timer, because it's an NFT. NFTs don't impact that. However, things built in game do. So this is sort of another storage unit. It gives me, what does it give me? I believe it's 11 town coin a day. It's part of that. So storehouse is built. So now I'm going to go ahead and activate these. And then what I'll need to do is also click craft, highlight them, click craft, and make sugar. You see, I need 6 sugarcane and 3 wood. And since this is adjacent to my 3 NFTs here, each one contributing 2, you'll see already 6 out of 6 sugarcane. So all this guy needs now is wood. And he'll go ahead and go to this woodshed, pick up the wood, put it in there. The lumberjacks will actually also carry the wood directly into the windmill. And this one down here all by itself will need both. So this one's going to be a little bit slower in making sugarcane, or excuse me, sugar, but it's going to add up. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off screen real quick and actually show you guys how to build a script that will start auto selling some of these products or resources that we're crafting. So I'm letting the game run on another screen right now, and I've gone over to GALA Analytics, which is a person that actually has published a template that we can use. It's a JavaScript template that we can use for an auto sell script, as well as if you may have noticed a what we call, what does he call it here? Not the leaderboard, but the production rate monitor. You may have noticed that on my screen on the right side. It shows me how many of what resource I'm crafting per minute and per hour. That's another script there that you can download. It's really simple, but the one we're going to focus on is the TownStar Auto Sell version 2. And for that, you will need to go to this website. I'll link it down in the description, but you'll also need Tamper Monkey, which is going to be what we'll use to actually enact the script. So Tamper Monkey is basically a way to enact a JavaScript and also actually edit it. So I've already installed mine. You go to this website out. This is also down in the description. Go to this website. Make sure you install Tamper Monkey. It's a web browser extension, and you'll see it here at the top right. When you click the little puzzle icon, you can actually have it pinned to your browser. And then once you have it pinned, when you click on it and go to dashboard, it will actually take you into this area where you can actually edit scripts. So what you'll want to do, I have a couple already, but what you want to do is hit the plus sign right here. This will take you into a new script. Go ahead and remove everything from this new script. Now go back into the GALA Analytics website and click down here where it says click here to download the TownStar AutoSell version 2 script. I just like to click on it. I like to select all, whoopsies, not save, but select all, copy, and then go back into the new script that you just opened up in Tamper Monkey and paste that in here. And once it's pasted in here, scroll all the way to the top. The first set of functions are basically your AutoSell functions. So if you want to keep it simple, if you know JavaScript, you can probably mess around with this and provide some more variables. However, in this case, for what we're trying to do, all we're trying to do in the beginning is sell sugar. So I'm going to remove all of these other functions, which are selling some of the other items, and I'm going to replace silica with sugar. And you have to be very careful to make sure that it matches the description of the item as it does in game. So in this case, sugar is just simply sugar in game. And you can check this by going into the Express Depot or Trade Depot and click on sell, and then it'll actually show you exactly how the resource or material is described. In this case, again, sugar. If it was a sugar cane, I would just write sugar cane. Make sure that you are capitalizing sugar. If it's lowercase, that's not how it's spelled in the game, and it will actually not recognize that it's trying to sell sugar. All right, I'm gonna remove the sell minimum and put 0, and then the keep amount is basically at which point do you want to sell? Do you want to sell sugar the second you have 10 sugar to sell, or do you want to keep 10 sugar in your storage? So if I were to set this to 10, it would not sell once I have 10 sugar. It would wait until I have 20 sugar to make sure that there's always a reserve of 10 sugar in my silos. However, that's not what we're looking for in the beginning. We're just trying to make some money to start building the town. So I'm going to sell sugar the second I have enough sugar to sell. So I'm going to keep the keep amount at 0. Once you have done this, go ahead and hit File, Save. Right, and that is now going to be our script. So this is the TownStar AutoSell. So when I click back in this, you can see here the only function we have is the sugar. All right, that's all we're selling. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save again. Back out of this, make sure it's enabled, and then when I drag my game back into the screen, okay, what we'll need to do now is actually reload the page. So if I go in here, I don't have that script. I do have the script running, but it's not loaded in here. So I'm gonna actually refresh the page, and that will load the script. So as soon as 10 sugar are created or in my storehouse, the game will actually automatically start selling, right? And this is what I'm gonna let run here for a couple of hours in order for us to get enough money to actually continue building out our town. So right now we've got our sugar production. Both of these windmills are crafting sugar right now. This one and this one. We've got a little bit of sugar in the storehouse. We have 3 out of 20. So as you guys see this time lapse, you'll see that there's going to be sugar being sold. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a few hours. Okay, and you can see here this final sugar is about to be delivered, and my script should automatically sell as soon as it gets put in. So it's selling right now. I have not clicked anything. This is the script doing its thing. Just wanted to show you guys that. And I'm gonna let this run again for about an hour and a half to 2 hours just to accumulate enough money, and then we'll continue building out the town. I'm actually going to add another lumberjack just so that we can get enough lumber into the mills. Because right now they're kind of waiting on the lumber to get there with the sugar already being in place. So I'm building a second lumberjack just to keep things moving a little more smoothly. So I've actually started clearing out this area around my pond, and I'm building some pumps, some water pumps, as well as I'm paving roads, or I had to build regular roads, and now I'm actually paving or upgrading those roads into paved roads. This is going to be my gasoline production. So for gasoline, we do need water pumps because the refinery as well as the power plant will need water barrels in order to produce both electricity and petroleum and gasoline. So I'm building 2 water pumps here for passive water barrels, and I'm also going to be building paved roads here because we need to place the refinery and the power plants on a paved road. You cannot place them on a regular road. In addition, I'm also going to be constructing a lumber mill, which I'll go ahead and build now. And the reason we need a lumber mill is because we actually need lumber in order to build the power plant. We can't just build it with regular wood. So that's what I'm building right now. So I'm building a lumber mill, and then once these two roads are paved, I'm going to construct a refinery and a power plant. And next to this lumber mill, I'll go ahead and place my solar panel, because it's going to need 2 energy, and it's going to get passive energy from the power plant. However, it's only going to get 1 because it's sort of far away. If it was right next to the power plant, it would actually get 3, or excuse me, it would get 5 energy, but because it's sort of diagonally across, it's only going to get 1 energy. So I'll place a solar panel here for now, just temporary. In addition, I'm going to start building out, or just placing all of my NFTs randomly as I get closer to my goal. Right now, I would only get 200 town coin. Once I place all of my NFTs, I should get around 700 to 800 town coin. But before that, we'll go ahead and start finishing construction here. It looks like we're almost ready to build the power plant here. So as soon as this is built, I'm going to go ahead and start construction on the power plant. And I'm also going to need to build a wind turbine, because the power plant cannot be built without energy. So we need to actually construct energy, both for... So my power plant, see, you need 5 lumber, and that's what we need this lumber mill for. So once this is built, I can actually start finishing construction on this. But we're also going to need a wind turbine, which I'm just going to put here in the middle of the map randomly. I'll probably build 2, and we're also going to need to get a worker out on the field to actually collect, and we're going to need a warehouse to store. So let me go ahead and build my random wind turbine here, and I'll build another one across from it. And the same shade effect that occurs with windmills happens with wind turbines. They have to be at least 3 spaces away from anything else, otherwise it takes them longer to produce energy. So I'm going to build 2 wind turbines, and I'm also going to build a worker's house. And this is the person that's actually going to go and retrieve the energy and put it in the warehouse, which I also need to build. And I'm probably going to build the warehouse right here. Go ahead and demolish this. We have plenty of money again to throw around since I've had this run for a while. And we'll place a warehouse there. So all these things will need to get constructed. It's going to take a while, so I'll go ahead and put this back on a loop. So now that I've got my worker's home ready, I'm going to activate him. I'm going to get my warehouse up and running, and then also my wind turbines. And this way you can see both wind turbines are only taking a minute because they're spaced far enough apart. If I were to build this within 2 or 3 squares of a building, another building, this would go up to like 2 or a minute and a half or something like that. Right, so once this is ready, this worker is going to leave his home, pick up the energy and store it in there. And you can see here I need 5 energy to build this guy. And then my wind or my lumber mill will actually need energy to produce lumber as well. Meanwhile, I also paused both of my windmills. I'm not in a need for sugar right now because I've got enough money still piled up. So I've paused these so that all the lumber that's being picked up can go towards construction and not into the windmills, because they will prioritize the windmills if they're up and running. So I'm gonna let this run again, and see you guys in a jiffy. So now that all of the wood has been provided to all my construction sites, you can see 5 out of 5 wood here. I didn't mean to activate the refinery. Normally I would not activate the refinery, I just wanted to show you how much wood there was. So it is now activated, but it had all the wood it needed. Now I'm also going to activate my lumber mill, because now the wood that's being carried into the woodshed is going to be provided directly to the lumber mill, which will need to create lumber. Right? We need 4 wood, 2 energy, and 1 water drum. So the water drum should be passive. We should have 1 out of 2 energy through my NFT, which is the solar panel. And then once this thing is built, it will actually have all the energy it needs. and we're going to need more lumber later on to start creating grapes as well, which will be another source of income once I actually start making candy, because we won't be selling our sugar at that point. We'll be using the sugar to make our candy canes, but we still need to have some kind of source of income to pay all the workers, and that will be grapes mostly. So for now, I'm going to let this run again, get all the lumber in place to finish out construction of the power plant, and then we'll start crafting petroleum. Another thing, guys, I'll go ahead and mention this now. The refinery, I'll go ahead and start crafting petroleum now actually, but the thing is with the refinery, you're going to need crude oil. I have an NFT that I'm going to place next to my refinery, the Haunted East Wing and the Haunted Graveyard. This will give 1 passive crude oil. The East Wing will actually give 2, and it also pays me 60 town coin. So I'm going to place that right next to my refinery, and you'll see here it's already 2 out of 2 crude oil. If you don't have NFTs like this, you will need to build something like, let me go ahead and place that here so you can see it. You're going to need to place an oil pump. Where is it? Here it is. You'll need to have an oil pump, and this will generate oil, I think, every minute or so, as long as it's away from buildings, which the worker will then go and deliver and then drop off here in the fuel storage. And then the people from the refinery will go and walk, pick up the crude oil and bring it back in here. But since I have this NFT, I have passive crude oil just to speed things up for myself. So again, if you don't have an NFT, you will need to build an oil pump to deliver crude oil to the refinery and start crafting your petroleum. Once you have petroleum, then you can use petroleum to craft gasoline. And this is what you'll need to have in order to continue making deliveries. Right now you can see on the left I still have 9 gas cans and I only need 1 per delivery, so I technically can do 9 more deliveries, but we want to become self-sufficient, and this is exactly why I'm building this gas setup here on the right to start having gasoline that I can then continue making and make deliveries with. And in addition, once I start building 2 or a second refinery, I'll actually start selling gasoline as well to make some extra money, and I can focus more on using sugar to make candy. With that said, let's keep this thing rolling. So now that the first power plant is finished, I'm actually going to continue letting the lumber mill generate lumber. I'm gonna wait till he has 5 more in the woodshed. I'll probably need to build another woodshed just to accommodate the additional wood and lumber for the other things I want to build. But the reason being is I'm actually going to build a second power plant right on the other side from it. And I'm actually going to end up building another refinery right there. But for now, I'm going to leave the energy next to this. That way he needs less energy to retrieve from the warehouse. Once I have 5 lumber in my stash, I'm going to remove this solar panel. I'm going to build a refinery there. And I'm actually going to start building a power plant here now. So what I'll need to do is go ahead and upgrade all of these. And once these are upgraded, I'm going to go ahead and place my power plant construction there. And I'll wait for the refinery just because I still need this solar panel to be next to the lumber mill. Okay, so now that we have both power plants built, I can actually remove this solar panel, and I'm going to, in its place, put another refinery. So that way I'll have one refinery that's going to focus on refining petroleum, and my other refinery will be focusing on gasoline. And then at that point, we'll actually have a gasoline production. So I can actually start writing in my script that I would like to also sell gasoline. So while that's building, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. So I'll click here onto my Tamper Monkey icon, and I'm gonna hit or click into the TownStar auto sell script. That's the one we built earlier in this video. Oopsies. I'll have to hit this arrow and hit edit, and it's gonna open up the script. You can see it's only there to sell sugar right now. So I'm gonna take this line, I'm gonna copy it, go to the end, hit enter, and paste it. And I'm gonna add in gasoline. However, I'm gonna do a keep amount because I want to keep a minimum of 5. so I can continue selling the other things that I want to sell. So once we hit 15 gasoline, it will automatically sell. So now I'll hit go save. Do that one more time, hit save. Go back to my game tab, and I'm gonna refresh. So that's gonna reload the script with the new function in place. So now that the town is reloaded, I've got the script to sell both gasoline and sugar. I've already built pretty much everything I want to build for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and reactivate my sugar production. In addition, because I no longer need these wind turbines, because I now have my power plants and all of my refineries that I'm going to put into production, I'm going to remove them. So let me go ahead and start all these guys. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'm going to have one of my refineries that I'm going to actually have create energy. And because it needs 2 crude oil, I'm going to put my graveyard next to it for now. So it's receiving 1 from this. So right adjacent to the Haunted East Wing, you get 2 passive crude oil. And then 2 over, you get 1. So because I only get 1, I put my graveyard next to here, and then I have 2. So now I've got a steady flow of energy, so I can remove both of my wind turbines, and I'm actually going to replace them now with windmills. So I'm sort of upping the ante here, and we're already, by the way, at a point where your town is pretty much self-sustaining, so we don't really need to worry about doing too much manual work. We could actually let this thing run on autopilot now. However, I'm going to make this video to show you a full build. So this will be part 1, and then there will be a second part where I actually show you the full build. So now that we've got petroleum being built on this one, I'm going to go ahead and craft gasoline on the other one, and that will be my gasoline production. So that's pretty much on autopilot. I've got continuous flow of gasoline, and I've got a continuous flow of sugar that's going to be coming in. And now, next part, I'm gonna, once I fill up my 1,000 stars here, I'm gonna actually start placing my NFTs and claim my rewards. I'm gonna actually place 1 NFT right now really quickly, just to help with the sugar production, and that will be my elf bot. And this guy actually gives me 200 town coin, which is pretty nice. And he will run around and collect sugarcane and actually deliver it to all of the windmills. Alright, and I'll probably go ahead and just randomly build 1 more farm and 1 more lumber, so that way, lumberjack, so that way I can actually have a few more workers out here. So let me go ahead and get a farmhouse in there, and these are just randomly placed for now. I'm gonna move everything around to make a little more sense. But right now I'm just kind of randomly placing everything. But again, we are at a point where we actually don't really need to worry too much about doing too much manual intervention. This is pretty much on autopilot at this point, because we've got the sugar that's going to automatically get sold with the script. We've got gasoline that's being produced and also being sold. And then we've got energy. And in fact, because I'm not going to be using much energy right now, well, you can see this one actually still is requiring energy. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll change something here. So right, you can see I've only got 5 out of 6 energy here to create gasoline, and refining petroleum only needs 2 energy. So what I'll do is I'll actually make this one create gasoline, and I'll go ahead and remove this road, because the Haunted East Wing actually does not need to be placed next to a road. I'm going to place my solar panel here. So now this one will have 6 out of 6 energy. So I'll go ahead and stop that. I'm going to make gasoline with this guy, and I'm going to craft petroleum with this guy. So now this one will have 6 out of 6 energy on autopilot, and this one will have 2 out of 2. Okay, so that is the minor change that I'm making there. And then everything else will pretty much be running on its own here once I've get everything going. I'll probably actually stop crafting my windmills here once these 2 are done. So once this one finishes, I'll stop it just to get these 2 built, because as I mentioned, the lumberjacks will prioritize getting wood to the windmills. So I'll stop this one, and now they'll go ahead and carry it into the woodsheds, so that way I can get these built. And then once they're built, I'll have 4 windmills creating sugar, And I'm just gonna let it run for a few hours, probably till I get about maybe $1 million, and then I'll start really demolishing all this stuff on the map and building out the layout the way that I really want this town to look. And that's it, guys. We'll see you guys in a couple of seconds for you. So I'm beginning to run low on trees. You can see all of the trees are being cut down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building my layout for my actual crops. And I'm going to have sugarcane tree farms as well as peppermint and grapes. But for the starters, I'm just going to focus on trees and sugarcane. But before we can do that, I need to build some ponds. So what I'll do is I'll start crafting or building my ponds here, and that will be under terrain. And many of these are already going to be a lot, like 9 out of 10 water because of the river and everything else around it. But I'm going to go ahead and keep building out my ponds here. And what I'll do is it'll be like a big sort of C shape. And here's an auto cell that's happening right now. It'll be a big C shape, and I'm just going to keep building a bunch of these all the way down the line here. I think that will be enough for now, and I'm gonna clear out some stuff for the tree farms, and I'm gonna go ahead and build the tree farms as well. So you can see there, some of them are coming out immediately, some of them aren't. Once these ponds are built, these trees should be growing automatically. And I'm also gonna bring out Mr. Puddles, actually. Mr. Puddles is a NFT that will actually go and retrieve water. And then in addition, I'm gonna go ahead and build a couple of wells to help speed up this process a bit. Alright, and that's it, and I'm gonna let this run on autopilot once more. Okay, so we can see that the town itself is pretty sufficient, right? Self-sufficient. It's making money for us. And now I'm gonna let this thing ride overnight, and all I'm gonna do now is place my NFTs, claim my rewards, and build a bunch of roads that I'll probably remove later, but I'm just gonna build roads so these guys can move a little bit quicker around the map. So I'll start with the roads. And really, these are, again, there's no planning behind any of this. I might demolish a couple of things too while I'm at it. But really, it's just there to, the roads are just gonna be built for me to get these guys moving a little bit quicker, because right now anytime they go over the grass it really takes a very long time. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is place all of my NFTs, especially because I am able to now claim for my reward since we did achieve 1,000 points. Right now I've got only 505 town coin that I can collect, but I've got a couple other NFTs that I want to place, and I should get a little bit more than 500 town coin. So let me just finish building these random roads. Again, a lot of these will probably get removed. I'm just doing this just because I do have the extra cash, and this is not a competitive server, so none of this is in a rush. And again, this entire build is really not for a competitive server. It's just really for us to get a monthly build going that will earn us town coin every day. There are definitely probably much better and more efficient ways of building your town to start with. But I am not that kind of pro, yet at least, so this is not one of them, so yeah. So again, just building random roads just so these guys can get to some of these places a little bit quicker, and demolishing some trees while I'm at it. Once I have my endgame build, or my final build, there won't be a single tree on this map. It will just be my tree farms where I'll be getting my trees from. All the marshes and all the other rock formations, they'll all be gone. And again, I'm just kind of clicking through everything. Let's see. Looks like we've got pretty much most of the stuff connected. Maybe I'll build another road down here on the side so they can get to this side a little quicker. Alright, and now that I have that done, what I'll do is actually place my NFTs, and I've got a couple pretty cool ones as well. So let me go ahead and start with my favorite one, which is the Into the Galaverse, 202 town coin. Whoops, there's an auto sale. The script works, guys, it works. Boom, you see this big old thing right here. It's kind of cool. Another one, I've got some shoe boxes, which I'll probably just for the where I'm gonna put them. Those are not NFTs. Got 2 Broken History Steph Curry shoe boxes, and if you saw any of my previous videos, and if you were in the Telegram at the time of the drop, you should know about these. I'll place a basketball court down here. I should have 2 epic ones. I'm not gonna worry about my other ones. Right there. And let's see, do I have any other NFTs that I have not placed? I've got my grape storage, why not? And I'm not sure which one actually yields the highest right now, so I'm just gonna place them all in random spots. Oh, my lollipop shops. So those I'll go ahead and place strategically actually. So I need to remove this graveyard and move it up a bit. And these candy shops I'm actually going to put in a place where they'll actually remain. And that will be down this line. So let me go ahead and remove this rock formation. That's an expensive one to remove, but that's fine. And these I'm gonna immediately turn off. Oh, they're gonna need road to be placed on. So I'll go ahead and build the roads for that. And this is one of the roads that will be permanent, and eventually I'll turn it into concrete. But along this road, I'll have my first 3 candy shops, which I have as NFTs. You can see here I've got the rare and the regular one. The rare yields 55 town, the regular 25. But I'm actually gonna turn them off because I don't want them actually crafting anything. Not yet, at least. We're not quite there yet. And then the final one. And turn this guy off as well. And I believe that's it for NFTs to place. I have the chords, but I'm not gonna worry about them. Yep, that's all my NFTs. So let's see how much Gala I'm earning now. 829, that's a little better than 500. So I'll go ahead and collect those rewards. And that is it for part 1 of the video. I hope this was helpful, guys. If you liked the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I will see you in the next video. I'm gonna make a part 2 that's gonna make a little more sense of this, and I'll make a nice, neat layout that is where everything kind of flows a little better. But I hope this was helpful for you guys to at least get started. Again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.